Administrative leadership in higher education institutions. It may be college, it may be university, it may be any institution like NIT or IIT. My main concern, my question will be with the leadership in higher education institutions. So, any idea about these three steps of education? Primary, secondary, and higher education or tertiary. Just one small quotation. Aristotle, long back. Is there any deviation from this perception of education? As of now, you have observed there are so many education commissions in India, education committees, primary, secondary, higher education. Ultimate definition of education remains the same, objective of education remains the same. Who is a leader? Who leads an institution? Who leads a country? Who leads a society? Who leads a group? Amongst you, there may be so many leaders. And being the registrar, I may not be the leader. It depends upon the environment, situation, organization, and so on and so forth. But what is the requirement or what do we expect from a leader in case of a nation, in case of an institution, especially an institution of higher education? We want that institution should excel in nothing. Means bring laurels, give benefits as mandated in the act or ordinance. Before that, since I have mentioned about the act, how institutions are established. You know, say there are NITs, IITs, universities, colleges, schools, higher secondaries. How these are instituted? Universities are established by an act. Maybe in parliament in case of central university. Maybe in legislative assembly in case of a state university. In case of deemed to be university, normally we call it deemed university. Actual terminology deemed to be university by parliament. In case of private university, obviously by the state legislature. These are the provisions for establishment of universities and IIT. Colleges are established by government ordinance. That ordinance is not meant for individual college. There is a standing ordinance. Now it is called just regulation. In case of government of Assam, even the schools, they are governed by regulations. Statutes are part of Act. Act defines the establishment or all the establishment of a university, state, central, private, deemed to be university, IITs, means institution of higher education. And ordinations or most of the cases now it is regulations for the other academic institutions. There are so many other academic institutions nowadays. Those which are established by central government, mostly by Act. Even other institutions, you are aware of AICT, NAC, these are not academic institutions as such. These are agencies who are looking after some part of the activities or governance of higher education institutions. While coming to this leadership, that leader, who will be the leader of an institution, is also defined in the Act itself, but not the word leader. Now, what is your idea about the leaders in a university, in a college, in an IIT or NIT? Before that, I would like to come to two terminology. One is authority, other is officers. Because you may be confused with the leadership words or leader. Which are the authorities of a university and who are the officers of a university? Any idea? Normally you think that Vice Chancellor is the authority. go through the acts. Most of the acts are available in the website. Any university, any NIT, IIT, you will find who are the authorities, which are the authorities, and who are the lead officers. President of India is an officer, not an authority. Chancellor, President of India is an officer of a university as the visitor for central university. In case of state universities, normally the governor is the chancellor. There is no question of putting any visitor. In some cases, not some cases, one or two cases in India, there are visitors other than President of India. One is the Vishwabharati. That is the only university, as per my knowledge, without the president being the visitor. In most of the cases, chancellor is the concerned governor of the state, but there are some deviations. Nowadays, they are putting chancellors from other than governors. Vice chancellor, deans, professor, all these are officers. If you go to the act, even my Tezpur act is available in the website, go to the who are the officers. And which are the authorities?
The Registrar is the authority.
No. Registrar is an officer. As I defined, all these are officers. President being the visitor, not as president, the visitor is an officer.
The board members are the authority?
Members are not the authority. Board of Management, Executive Council, Academic Council, Court. You are aware of these terminologies?
Yes.
Board of Governors. These are the authority. Planning Board, Academic Council, Building Committee, Finance Committee. These are the authorities. Then what about NCT, AICT, NEC? Other these agencies. Are they authority?
They are regulatory authorities.
Regulatory bodies, in some cases it is this authority terminology used, but actually they are agency. All officers are leaders, but what about you? Are you not a leader? In some cases you are also leader. So how do you define leader? After this spending of 10 minutes or 8 minutes, how do you define leader? Am I leader?
Yes.
Why? And why you are not you? I am not leading anybody.
Leading the judicial. You are leading the judicial in certain cases.
Okay. What about you?
Yeah, I am also when I
So,
am representing.
as I at the very beginning mentioned that it depends upon the environment,
Yes.
the responsibility. So, in some cases you may be the leader. So, you have assigned the faculty in charge of NCC in the college or in the university. That means you are also leader in that group. If you are the teacher in charge in the college for your students' union, you are also leader in that group. So this leader may not be necessarily the head of the institution. Yes, they are officers, head of the institution. As I told you, Vice Chancellor, Registrar, Pro-Vice Chancellor, Dean. Dean is a professor in case of university system. Since you are in college system now, but you have come through the university system as student, so you might be aware of this university system. You have come to know about the deanship or headship. Head is also a officer. Yes, he is a teacher in the department. He is another entity as the head, means an officer. Even the dean. In case of college, there is no dean, but head is there. So head is also an officer as well a leader. So any perception now about the leadership, leader. That means you may be also the leader in some context. I may be a leader. In some cases, I may not be the leader. What do we expect from a leader? To excel to lead an institution for its excellence. Is excellence our objective in a nation, in a government, in an institution? We normally expect that one. Even academic institutions established by Act or Ordinance, the same mandate is defined in the Act itself or ordinance itself? What is the mandate? Are you aware of this word mandate? What is the objective stated in the Act? Why this university has been established? Why NIT Rourkela has been established? Why IIT Guwahati has been established? Everything is given in the Act. In some cases, say if you go to AMU, some mandates are specific. In case of Tezpur, somewhere it is mentioned, mainly science and technology bias. That means in the mandate itself, it is okay. In case of Vishwabharati, art and culture, you will see more emphasis is given. What about Nalanda University, New Nalanda? Are you aware that Nalanda has been re-established? Their mandate is defined in their Act itself. All these mandates refer to excellence, maybe in general, maybe in some cases specific. As I told you, in case of AMU, though everything is there, art, science, commerce, management, medicine, law, everything is there, but there are still some specific mandates in their Act. Similar is the case for PhD. Similar is the case for Indira Gandhi National Tribal University. Have you heard of this university name? Yes. It is a central university. Why I am referring that in some cases mandates are more specific in the Act itself or in their statutes. So we expect excellence in higher education institutions as well. Now, of course, even a college is established or a school is established expecting something, that our children will be taught in a better way in the school which we have established. Our children will get better education in the college which we have established or government has established. How do you measure excellence? To reach the vision, we have to take mission through which we can reach the vision. Now, what is the measuring stick? How do we measure that we have excelled? We have reached that goal. Actually, it is never ending. Their goal cannot be never ending. Most likely, vision and mission may be varied from time to time. That's why vision and mission are not incorporated in the Act itself. Am I clear? Yes. So, are you aware of this rankings of universities? Yes. Though it is this term is used as universities, ranking includes all institutions. IITs are not universities, but at the level of universities. That's why this word has been used. Oxford or Cambridge or whatever famous university may be in the world, still they are also competing in the ranking system, world university ranking system. Any idea about agencies or international rankings? Times Higher Education, then QS. What about national ranking? NIRF. So all universities, in case of India, we are participating in the NIRF ranking. In case of international ranking, all are participating in that ranking. Why? To prove or to get feedback. There are two things. One is to prove that we have achieved something. There is an objective that we want to know what is our stand today. What is the status of Tezpur University? What is the status of Bora University in the context of world university ranking? Means our achievement at international level or global context. That's why these rankings of universities, actually universities, higher education institutions is going on. What are the problems or factors which create hurdles in excellence? Resource cuts, limited access. What is the perception about access? Your access, students' access, society's access. Think of those points. Students have their limited access because of maybe high tuition fee, high admission fee, maybe non-availability of academic institution, maybe limited seats, tough competition. Is that it? What about the society? Access of a society to an institution. Problem of equity, lack of quality. Are these hurdles? Do you agree?
Yes,
sir.
Autonomy, academic autonomy, yes, in case of exams, in case of introduction of courses. And what are the other academic autonomy? You are enjoying or expect to enjoy? Exam system, evaluation system, even grading system. Coming back to grading system. What is the grading system of UGC? 7 point, 8 point, 9 point, 10 point. Present one. Earlier it was 7 point. Now it is 10 point. You will get surprised to know that in the country, no two grading systems are similar. How many universities approximately? 800?
711.
Now it has crossed 800. Every day it is selling, so it is not your fault. Okay. So you will not find, you will compare any two grading system. Tezpur with Guwahati University, Guwahati with Dibrugarh, IIT Guwahati, IIT Roorkee. Take any two institutions, you will not find exactly in toto same. That's why few days back one eminent scholar he mentioned there should be one more agency to grade the grading systems of the universities. It may be true, and students are confused. They are the victims. So that is another part of academic autonomy. Financial autonomy. We are governed by so many do's and don'ts in case of finance. Those who have dealt financial methods in the system, say taking a advance, taking a tour, you have some experience at least. And we are bound by those rules, CFR of Government of India or state government. Even state government has the same. State government a little bit more. I know. So they will give financial autonomy, or we want financial autonomy. Administrative autonomy. In case of administrative autonomy, you may not be too much concerned. There are some that we say Tezpur wants to make one more campus. That is administrative autonomy. We want to establish 3 more departments. Those are administrative autonomy. At the moment, we don't have that type of autonomy. We have to take approval from UGC. In case of college, you have to take approval from your higher education department or DPI. Is that it? Yes. So, these are some of the examples of administrative autonomy. Is it a question of leadership in terms of attitude, perception, skill? How do you think of attitude of Biren standing in front of you? Just say what. You, many cases who have worked in colleges, you say our principal is very bad. Our vice chancellor is very bad, registrar is very bad. Registrar of X university is very good. Vice chancellor of X Y university is very good. What does it mean? What is your idea about that person on the basis of good? Wait. This attitude. Then what is my attitude towards my position? What is my attitude towards my responsibility? What is my attitude to my fellow colleagues? Do you think this is a terminology related with leadership? Yes. You have some expectation from your leader. Yes. When you are leader, your subordinate or followers have some expectation from you. Yes. XR is our NCC faculty in charge. He is very tough. So students are not joining NCC. So it relates to your education. Perception, don't refer to this vision and mission to your university or institution vision and mission. I am referring to your leaders' vision and mission. I am the registrar. I must have some vision. What type of vision this may be? Because institutional vision is different. Then what about the skill? My skill. Being the registrar, being the faculty in the department, what should be your skill? What is expected skill of an individual who is leading one institution, one group of people? Maybe one or more. Who is a leader in an institution of higher education? A plane captain? What is your idea about plane captain? I am not just telling you do this, you do that, but I am not coming from leading from front. A role model for and of the campus. You have some perception of a head of institution, say in case of college. Even being a student of a college, you have some perception about the principal of that college. Yes. If he is a role model, that means, as I mentioned earlier, yes, ex-university person is a very good person. That means, for me, he is a role model. A proactive person. Are you aware of Einstein's mass energy relation? Yes, sir. He is able to MC square. It is my own assessment that this may be quality leadership on some page of holistic approach. Perceptive, inspirational, and follows the IIT method, North Indian Institute of Technology. Involve, inspire, and transform. Administration goes hand in hand with the management. What is your perception of about the management? Leadership and management, or administration and management? How do you differentiate between administration and management? Administration every day, my administration. Then what is your anybody from management?
Yes. Management is the art of getting things done to happen. So an administration that, as you have already mentioned, is a plan that will be working on the plan. Yes.
Any further addition to that management definition? Yes. Say my highest authority is the board of management. Yes, is 100% right, but it has some branches. You can go for branching. It may be academic management, financial management, administrative management, all those things are there. Planning development. So one leader must have that idea. HR establishment. So management people know better than me. Finance, academic examination, general administration, which is quite general, it's a problem solving immediate. Research and development, training and placement, students welfare, outreach programs, for better handling or achievement in all these, one important requirement is not mentioned here, transparency. To be proud of one's own institution, thus I am trying to embed these points in you. To make the college or university the college, say Dindal College, Bihari. For my colleagues from Tezpur, my request will be make Tezpur University the Tezpur University.
Yes.
What is your perception on this statement?
The stands for like
Why Oxford is Oxford? Why we refer to Oxford? Brand name. Unless you are involved, unless you are inspired, you will not be able to transform. And if you are involved, if you can inspire your fellow colleagues, your students, other stakeholders, and if you can transform, that means university will or the institution will reach its goal. That's the name. So my submission will be, my request will be to all of you, make your institutes that it's say Naga College, the Naga College. Test University, the Test University.